Crypto God here, and today I'm with two lovely gentlemen from Kidney Coin. I got Jimmy and I got Frankie in the house. How you motherfuckers doing today?
Doing pretty good.
Well, how are you?
Woo! You know what? I'm doing good, man. You know, you guys are the only reason I woke up today. The only reason. Because you're here for a good cause. I'm excited to hear your guys' story. And to be completely honest with you, you seem like cool dudes.
Thank you. Thank you. You're a cool dude as well.
Oh, stop it. Telling me things I already know. But in reality though, right? Like, people's perception is a hard thing. You never really know how people perceive you, right? Because in my life, all I do is work, you know? Like, I'm in my office every day. Now I finally got some company. I bought 5 snakes yesterday. You know, we're just chilling out in the office. And it's like, my business partner, he has these parties every week. And they come in and, like, I can tell every person, whether they're new or not, has heard something about me. And I'm thinking to myself, you're a bunch of furries. Why are you judging me for, right? You're a bunch of furries. Why are you judging me? But it's one of those things of, it's so hard to gauge people's perception. That's why I find that these interviews are fantastic, because you have the opportunity to address perception. You have the opportunity to give people a heads up about what you're all about.
Yeah, that totally makes sense.
You know what I mean? So let's start off with Mr. Frankie here. What are you all about, good sir? Not your coin, but you. What are you all about?
Wow, that's a loaded question.
That's a good question, ain't it? But here's the thing: people at home, right? They want to know, like, you know, what's your life outside of crypto, like, a little bit, right? Like, do you game? Do you go to the strip club?
Okay. Yeah, so
do you love your mama? You know what I mean? They want to know these little things.
So I do game. That is one of my, my oldest hobbies. I think since I was 4 years old, I've been playing games.
Okay.
I'm a musician. I make music, and
really,
similar.
What kind of music do you like? What kind of music, real quick?
Metal music.
Metal music.
Yeah.
Man,
hell yeah.
All right, so after this, I got to show you a song, okay? I've been a death metal vocalist for 20 years.
Okay, yeah, so I'm a vocalist as well. So
21 years. I've been a death metal vocalist for 21 years, and I got those really nice, gnarly, nasty guttural going on.
Cool.
Yeah. Toilet bowl vocals, we all like some toilet bowls from time to time.
I love those toilet bowl vocals.
Oh, I love them, bro. Have you listened to the Phil Bozeman version of Unanswered, that live?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
Oh my God, bro. When I heard that the first time, my insides liquefied into pure hands free, and I was like, oh.
That's one way to put it.
But, that's the thing. Now the audience knows, oh, he's a musician. He likes metal. That's stuff they might not have known beforehand, right?
This is crazy, man. I've never had people know anything about me.
Right. And here's the thing. Personally, I play 8 instruments. How many instruments do you play?
I play 1, not including, obviously, being a vocalist. Because then, if you include that, then I play the throat. So 2, if you count that.
I play 2 separate kinds of throats, you know what I mean?
Yes. Well, I play drums.
Well, if you want to count drums as an instrument, just... I'm a drummer too, bro. Like, we all know the story. Like, you consider yourself a musician? You play drums? Do you even read notes, bro? Bro, all I do is notes. Dude. Everything I do is notes.
Yeah, basically.
Well, that's cool, man. You do a little bit of the double kick?
Oh, yeah. Double kick all the way.
Yeah, all the way. 30-second notes alternating in the gent.
30-second notes at 200 beats per minute.
Love it. I love it. That's it takes a certain kind of person to develop those skill sets, right? So you're probably fixate a little bit, right? You probably got that hyper focus needed to push through and learn, because metal is a very relentless kind of genre, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so to actually be able to play that music, to get your feet steady on the double kick, that's a discipline, right? And I think that carries over to everything else you do in your life. So when it comes to things like developing on crypto and working with these communities, that discipline carries over.
Oh yeah, everything comes full circle in life. Developing, whether it's a skill, a talent, even like just people skills, like that kind of stuff. It all ties together.
Absolutely. And that's the reason why I bring it up, because here's the thing: we are an amalgamation of all these different things in our lives, and I think when people start getting a more clear picture of developers, they know, oh, so he's like this. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Because a lot of these developers that don't share anything about their lives, they're like these faceless entities. Most often they are very faceless. They're not docs, and they don't share anything about themselves. And it's kind of hard for the community of holders to feel connected to them.
Right.
Now you're probably going to get community holders who are like, oh, he's into metal? Bro, dude, you know what it's like. You know what it's like, right? Like when you find out that someone's into metal, you're like, oh, I got a new best friend.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about.
So you're welcome, by the way. All your metalhead holders are like, bro, dude, I got a new best friend.
You're like, whoa, dude.
Whoa, dude.
Because that's how all people that listen to metal, that's how they talk to each other.
Bruh. No, actually, I found out the universal language of metalheads is "suh, dude."
Oh God!
I walk up to my nieces and I'm like, "Suh, dude," and they're like, "Suh." It's beautiful.
Yep.
Now, Jimmy. Enough about Frankie for tell me a little bit about yourself.
So I'm pretty much the, I guess, typical just coder. I work in various different codes. I have a lot of health conditions, so I'm on my computer all the time. I enjoy traveling, stuff like that. I also enjoy metal, but I'm also a lot more into EDM, dance music, stuff like that.
So you said health conditions, right?
Yeah.
Like I can relate to that. Digging a lot of time into it because my business partner, he's got like that Mr. Glass disease where he's got like the glass bones. Have you ever watched like Unbreakable or Glass?
Yeah.
He's got that. Where his bones will break at the slightest thing. So he's always at the computer. And
that's actually very similar to what I have. It's called Ehlers-Danlos, and it's the exact same thing, but with joints. So basically every joint locates all the time.
You have a lot of joints too. Oh God.
Yeah, like you'll wake up and your hip is dislocated, your shoulder's dislocated when you run. So I accidentally became a computer nerd pretty much because I couldn't really do much else.
The reason why I bring up my business partner, right, is because there's this bullshit bigotry of people that have some sort of what they would call disability, which I don't really even consider people like you disabled or my business partner. Like you have, I call it, it's not really even a disadvantage. You just have a very significant Achilles heel towards life, right? Like physical trauma, physical activity, but like doesn't make you any less capable because my business partner, because of his stuff, he spends all the time at the computer, which makes him a very dangerous tool at what he does. He's very effective. He's very dangerous in his arena of combat and performance. You put him next to a fully healthy person that doesn't have those issues, he's going to kick their ass 10 days a week because you've not spent as much time in front of a screen as this motherfucker. And I think actually in situations like developing and programming and code or whatever thing that you do in front of the screen, if you're like that, you have a massive advantage because of your disadvantage, because you were forced to be pushed in this direction of this field of an intellectual arena.
Yeah, and you have to win, pretty much. That's the biggest thing. Is you can't really fail, or else you got to go do something else. And you
got to fail, otherwise you're going to be one of those people that collect government cheese.
Yeah, and that won't happen.
And
government cheese.
And that's the big misperception of people with, what they would call disabilities, because I don't really even like when I look at my partner, I don't see his walker, right? I don't see his quote unquote disability because he's one of the most capable people that I know. And when you do something much like you have with kidney coin, it supersedes your disability.
Yeah, and it makes a big difference to other people.
it makes a huge difference. My company, my channel, all of this would not exist without that gimp motherfucker.
Yeah.
And I say that lovingly, right? Because I'm like, what up, gimp? And he's like, he just laughs at me. You know what I mean? Because like he fully understands that the only time I ever would call him a cripple or gimp is because to me, it's a joke that people would view him that way.
Yeah.
To me, it's a joke because he's going to run circles around every motherfucker in the intellectual arena. You know what I mean? Like, and same thing with you, right? Like over there, all disjointed and stuff, typing away. You're probably like Mr. Fantastic. Your fingers are stretching out and hitting the keys because they're not connected at the joints anymore, you know? And probably really flexible in bed, whether you want to or not. I'm sorry. It's just I have this picture in my head and it's horrible, and I apologize.
If you look up pictures of Elastanos, it's very similar to what you're talking about. Like your fingers, how they move.
Very stretchy.
Your skin is extremely elastic. So I'm laughing at the fact that you pretty much just nailed it on the head of that exact disorder by accident.
Right.
So yeah.
I have been told I have an insane laser insight into everything that I don't know. And it's crazy. But here, the thing is, right, like with your stuff, you've been able to pour a lot of time into this project.
Yeah.
Because for people like you who can't go out and work in factories or fast food and stuff like that, you've had to find a way to circumvent the rat race that the able-bodied people are forced into, right? Like, you have to be exceptional. Otherwise, it's government cheese. It's exceptional success or government cheese. There's no two ways about it for you.
Yeah.
And you've chosen to be exceptional rather than a cheesehead.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a Green Bay Packers fan, shame on you because, you know, you're choosing not to be a cheesehead now.
I knew that was coming.
Please tell me you're not a Green Bay Packers fan. Otherwise, it's like, oh no, absolutely. Oh no. Okay. So I stream all the time and I do all these different type of interviews and whatnot, and I never know if my jokes are going to be a bomb. Like, I just say what I think is funny. And fortunately, I've made it my entire career just saying what I thought was funny. And,
it just comes naturally.
Yeah, and it's not a planned thing. You know what I mean? I didn't know about your joints before the interview. It's a problem.
You're going to hear all about his joints.
He goes to a concert, it's like, bro, what a joint? It's like, you have no idea. No idea. I could go for like 30 right now. So,
and yeah, basically that disease caused the kidney disease, which is what gave me the inspiration for this project. I got diagnosed with that 4 years ago.
So you actually have a kidney disease.
I originally had stage 4 kidney disease, which is like pretty much the last one. And I was in the hospital for about 74 days total. And they were able to get it down to stage 3B, it's called, which is a lot better than stage 4. Even though it's close, it's a lot better to where, you know, you're in a better position, basically.
Oh, yeah.
And then, so I originally thought of the project probably about 9 months ago. Once all these charity, like I saw a charity coin before, and I was like, oh, this is actually pretty cool. And I started doing a ton of research and figuring out how it would work. And yeah, we just jumped on it and just kept running with it and figured out our biggest loophole, our biggest hurdles were figuring out how to actually get the money to the charities, because a lot of charities don't work with cryptocurrency currently. So we actually had to manually do that with a bunch of charities. So that was a pretty big hurdle that we got over, that we just recently got all figured out and set up and everything. So that's, yeah.
Yeah, I was the one that told him, I'm like, hey, dude, we got to get these charities on board. Like, you know, they gotta accept crypto, or else the whole thing's pretty much, you know.
So we basically we had to do a lot of explaining about crypto to a bunch of charity people who have no idea what crypto is.
Right.
You know how those old timers are.
You know, I'm working with some other projects. You know, maybe after this call or later down the road, if you need help with figuring out how to do that, I'm already connected to people that do it on a very regular basis to multiple charities.
Yeah, that would be, because the more the better. That's because as of right now we have one full charity who's one of the biggest charities. I don't want to announce that yet, just because we want to announce it in our Telegram.
They pick a different charity damn near every day. So they got the process down pretty pat. So like, I got you. Don't worry, I got you. I'll help you out.
For sure, that would be awesome.
That'd be great. Just to expand like the horizons.
Yeah. Like before you talk to me, you're like, yeah, you knew about the podcast. Then I start telling you about all these other things I do, and you're like, oh, he's a lot more than I thought, including Gilbert Gottfried. But so with this whole thing going on with your kidneys and your joints, and then you got Frankie over here hanging out.
Yep.
Just over there sounding like a garbage disposal air drumming,
Yeah, that's it.
I just broke down every metal vocalist in the history of humanity, just air drumming garbage disposals, What's the next step for Kidney Coin, man?
So we're going pre-sale on I believe it's June 6th. That's when we're going to start our full marketing campaign to market that pre-sale. And then
so you guys were talking to me before you even did your pre-sale.
Yeah.
Oh, how smart are you guys?
We're building out our audience and our just our holders. Well, I guess not our potential holders prior to launching the pre-sale. Just because we want to build that community up and kind of explain our full story while we're doing this. We don't want to be like a fly-by-night kind of coin where it's just like everybody just jumps on it and that's it. We'd rather kind of slowly build the community up.
You know what? That's the best thing you can do right there. There's a lot of people, man. A lot of people that they talked to me like 3 weeks after they launched our coin, right? And they've already like had 3 house fires in their project.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's like, hey, can you help us out?
Yeah, and I'm like, I mean, we can do an interview. I don't know if it's going to fix all your bad choices, but I can help what I can, I guess. But like, that's really exciting because there's a lot of people that watch the podcast to try to find new things to invest in, and nothing's better than a pre-sale to invest in, by the way.
Especially right now. Yeah.
Like, if you, it's like the earliest, the better. Now, everything's always a risk. You don't know, like, you have no control over whales.
Well, our pre-sale that we're doing is actually it's going to be limited to an X amount of money. So let's just say 2.5 BNB max, or 3 BNB. We don't want to have a major whale in there that could potentially crash the coin. We're still working out the numbers somewhat of what exactly we want to limit people to, but we definitely don't want people coming in and just buying out the entire pre-sale amount.
Right.
And we also want everybody to be able to buy it. So that's what we're thinking. It's probably going to be 0.1 BNB to 2.5 BNB. I would allow it to be like 2.5 maybe, or 1 BNB, like, you know what I mean? Maybe 1.5, just because like you want to be able to have like the liquidity in there, right? I can understand though limiting it though to like 0.5 as well, It really depends on what you're wanting to do, because it also really depends on the price of BNB because it keeps fluctuating so much.
Well, I noticed in the past 24 hours though, it's stabilizing over 400.
Yeah, which is great.
Which, considering it get down under 300, like it's almost back to where it was, which
pretty scary.
I am so happy about it. Like personally, I couldn't be any more enthusiastic because I had a significant amount of BNB just kind of sitting there. And then because of the crash, I lost like 17 grand.
Yeah, me too.
And I was like, no, money. And that was in BNB. That wasn't counting everything else that I had. Like, I was like, no. Lost like 30 grand because of it. I was so upset.
I thought it was going to be like 2017 again. That's when me and Frankie originally started building out coins and different things. Yeah. Just around 2017. And it was like right before the market just totally tanked. And
well, what happened is like, man, like Elon Musk did what he did and it hurt Bitcoin. And then like China did what they did. Yeah. And there's still some mixed reports about the China thing, by the way.
There's just so many different issues that happened at once. It was that ransomware attack a couple days ago that'll probably end up hurting it more in the long run. There's a lot of different things going on, but for whatever reason, it's going back up. I can't figure out why.
Well,
but
I'll tell you why. Are you ready?
uh-huh.
Because I understand people. Nobody wants BNB to fail.
Mm-hmm.
So you're having a lot of people that are working on generating money so they can rebuild BNB.
Right.
And I think
Yeah.
that's what it is. I honestly think that's what it is. You got a lot of people trying to rebuild Bitcoin right now. You got a lot of people trying to rebuild BNB. And I think that's the major thing because, like, yeah, you got all the other things, but what I've noticed, right, is there's a lot of people that are very happy with Binance.
Mm-hmm.
They're very happy with Binance. They want Binance to be like their primary trading method.
Yeah.
And I like, as far as like, goods and services and networking type stuff. And for whitelist, like a lot of people want Binance to succeed. And so when you have, and that's what I was saying when the crash came, I was talking to my partner about it. I'm like, there's no way Binance is going to stay down. There's no way. Because he was freaking the out, right? Like, he's really risk averse. So, like, he's not solid for, like, the entirety of our crypto career together.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody wants Binance to fail. So, what you see is you see people getting on whitelists and then liquidating and dumping it into Binance and the other things that support Binance. Then you see people getting on these other projects, and as they're trading off, they're slowly rebuilding Binance. Everybody's doing their part to get the value of that back up. Because here's the thing. They understand, well, if I pour my liquidity into things like BNB and into Bitcoin to get the liquidity back up and up that value, then everything else will go up too. Like, people aren't ignorant. They want that value up. And that's why it will recover.
Yeah, I could definitely see Binance recovering pretty quickly. I mean, Bitcoin, everything else, I don't really know. I've just been following Binance a lot more. I mean, I have a decent amount of money in Bitcoin.
It's almost everything's connected to Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Like everything. So it's bad for the entire market for it to be down.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who really watches Bitcoin chart? Nobody, really.
No.
But everybody also understands that's the mothership.
Yeah, dominance is still like 40, I think it's like 41% over the entire market. So it's still the biggest player in it.
So if it went up, then everything else would go up. It's just so expensive to make it go up.
Yeah.
It's so expensive to make it go up. That's the roughest thing.
And that's where the whales come in.
Whales! Have you guys ever heard the band Fair to Midland?
I have not. No.
So they got this song called Arrows and Anchors, and it's the theme song for every whale out there because it literally goes, I'm a whale, I'm a whale, I'm a whale. And then like
Do you think that like that's what like Elon Musk sings to himself every morning? When he
oh yeah, especially when it gets to the super emotional part where it's like, I'm a whale, I'm a whale, I'm a whale. Like every day. He might parody and say, I'm a Doge. Who knows?
Yeah, what do you think about Doge, out of curiosity?
All right. I'm not a financial advisor by any means. Okay. But Elon did what he did to Bitcoin for Doge.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Because part of my job is analysis, right? Like for social media trends.
Mm-hmm.
And before he did what he did to Bitcoin, he made this whole thing on Saturday Night Live. His entire Saturday Night Live thing was about Dogecoin.
Yep.
And then about 3 days later, tanked Bitcoin, right? He did that, but they're still accepting Bitcoin, by the way, right?
Are they really? I thought he said he stopped because of the...
No. From what I understand, they're still taking it. My research could be a little off. He just said bad things about it, right?
It was something with the environmental...
It was, blah, 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 environment, getting it right? How much like resources does Tesla take? Okay, let's just...
ton.
Anyway, more than Bitcoin, but that's neither here nor there, right? But a day afterwards, or it was 3 days afterwards, he made a post, should Tesla start accepting Doge? All right? Within a week of going on Saturday Night Live talking about Dogecoin. A few days after tanking Bitcoin, right? And then the day after that, he's saying, working with Doge developers and seeing some potentially promising results.
Wow.
I just can't see I mean,
All right. But it paints a very clear picture to me. As soon as Tesla says they're taking Doge, it's going to start going into that dollar region, $5 region, $10 region. It's going to start acting like Binance, bro. And that's the thing. He did what he did for Doge because he's a whale in Doge.
Yeah, well, these people, people like him, they know that they have such an influence on the market, whether it's the stock market or the crypto market.
yeah, I was gonna say, do you remember when he said use Signal? And what was it like 4 months ago? He said use Signal, as in the app, like the messaging app, and the stock ticker Signal went up like 500% instantly, and they were originally worth like it was like $1 or whatever. They ended up being worth like $15 within 2 days.
Wasn't that the wrong company?
It was the wrong Signal. It was a failing company that he accidentally just made like $1 billion corporation when they were worth nothing prior. I don't remember the exact numbers, but it was some insane change. I'll try to find it. Hold on. Let's see.
But like, that's the thing, right? And this is why he did it. Are you ready? I tell you exactly why he did it for Doge. He is only the third richest person on the planet.
It went from 60 cents to $15 in 2 days.
That's crazy. So here's the thing. He knows if he can get Doge up there, he will surpass Jeff Bezos in money.
But he did at one point.
No, he's the third richest right now. He's trailing behind. I don't know if he did at one point or not, but I do know he wants to surpass Jeff really bad. So let's look at the richest people in the world. This is right now, actually, it's Bernard Arnold, but he's about 40 billion behind them right now. So, but what would happen? Let me ask you, what would happen if Doge skyrocketed?
Well, him being a whale, yeah, he'd make a ton.
He'd make billions.
Net worth, yeah.
Doesn't he hold like 3% or something like that? I read.
He would make billions, which would mean, by the way, he would probably have. And this is all speculative, right? I don't even know if his shares are in Doge are public. Then he could very well break the 200 million mark, which would put him fairly in the lead. Because right now, Bernard Arnold and family has 192.6 billion. Jeff Bezos has 186.8 billion. And Elon Musk has 156.1. When you are in that top three, right, you are trying to figure out how to get to number one. That's it.
Yeah, of course.
That's it. So
that's the only game left to win, pretty much. Once you get to that level.
That point, yeah. I feel like Elon doesn't really strike me as the kind of guy that cares that much about his net worth. Didn't he say at one point a couple of years back, I think it was, that he was going to sell all of his possessions or something?
Okay, I call bullshit because you don't become the third richest person in the world without watching your net worth.
Yeah, and I know.
Okay, I'm just saying.
I feel like the Elon Musk meme, his persona is almost like a meme in its own, and I feel like that's what made Tesla stock have such an insane year. I think it was last year, and just kind of it definitely had a huge effect on his net worth, and that was just the community, the people that like just love him and what he's doing.
Right, but
he really had nothing to do with that. If you think about it,
this is what I'm thinking though, right? He wants to see if he can do it.
Yeah.
To me, he likes games. He just wants to see if he can win. You know what I mean? Because really, that's all that money is. That's what crypto is. That's what all this is. To bring it back full circle, it's a game. Life is a game. Some people play it much better than us. Now, I'll be completely honest. I want to be number one day. Why not? Someone's got to, right? But how do you get there? What do you do? And so we draw back to investment, stocks, having a good product. And then we look at something like kidney coin, right? We look at, this is a great opportunity to get on board. Now, I'm not saying whales, right? Because I believe in incremental trading.
Yeah, that's the same thing that we are looking for as well.
I never pump a lot in, then pull a lot out. Like, I've dropped $1,000 on a coin and then got burned. Who hasn't, right? Who hasn't like
done that a couple times?
Who hasn't made some bad choices? Who hasn't lost thousands of dollars doing this, right? But my best choices have always been to put in little to nothing into something and just keep it there.
It's the lottery ticket.
It's the lottery ticket. There we go. That's what I've been trying to word to people, because I'm like, hey, everybody, come on. You listen to the interviews, you find one you like, buy a $5 lottery ticket. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
And just hold that because who's going to miss $5? If you eat out once less a week, that money you're going to anyways. You can afford to invest $5, and that $5 could change your life.
It is for a good cause too. I mean, the more money that people make, or the more that the kidney is worth, the more money is getting donated to, kidney disease and the research of kidney disease.
That's what the purpose of the project, is obviously to donate to charities, but it's also to just tell people and explain about kidney disease, because it's like I got to get the exact number, but it's one in a small amount of people have kidney disease and have no idea that they even have it, and they only find out once it's too late.
And the wait time for a transplant is 3 to 5 years on average.
And that's in, random states in upper, California, New York, somewhat Florida. It can be up to 15 years, depending on your health issues. If that's your only issue, obviously you're going to get a lot quicker. Money also talks in that situation, which is another thing that we want to change. Our long-term goal is to create our own transplant list, pretty much by working with different kidney foundations and all those kind of stuff, to ideally create a decentralized transplant list.
That'd be amazing.
That goes further than just, kidneys, but that's really, obviously, that's the name of our project. So that's the first.
I mean, you could branch off with kidneys.
And pretty much just because right now the transplant lists are really messed up. It really depends what part of the world or what part of the United States, wherever you are. But in some places, it's just totally messed up.
I mean, people die waiting on this.
Yeah, the same thing with hearts. It's not just kidneys. It's a lot of different things. But it really comes down to, if you have enough money, you could fly to a different state, within 3 hours and get the transplant. But people, not everybody has that kind of money, so
right.
That's what we want to figure out how to change.
Outside of Elon Musk, who has that kind of money?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's why the rich live longer and the poor die.
Yeah, that's what we want to kind of give other people the opportunity to be able to, get on a list and actually, get what they need in X amount of time, rather than potentially waiting until, I guess, you die.
That's massive, man.
And that is pretty much within the next couple months going to become the backbone of the project, on top of course, donating still and everything. But that's really our project behind it, I guess you can
I really think like it would be worth like pushing towards that even more than the charity stuff, because that's a real change in the world.
Yeah.
Because everybody does charity.
Mm-hmm.
It's trendy, right?
Yeah.
But setting it up to where people can get transplants, rather than like you have, instead of doing charities, right? Which charities are important. Don't get me wrong. It's important. People need help. But why not, instead of having a charity fund, you have a transplant fund where when you hit a certain mark, you help someone bypass that wait time and get their transplant.
You mean like pay for their flight to X place?
Yeah,
why not do that?
That is
right off the rip.
That's an idea that's crossed my mind before.
I
think it's not out of the question at all.
I think honestly, if you start on it sooner than later, the more lives you're going to save.
Exactly.
And I'm not saying don't donate to charity.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying it might be
basically become our own charity where we're
I would. Me as a consumer would much rather see you guys paying for transplants than donating to charity. I would much rather see that, because then I know, this is how many people they've saved.
Yeah.
I'd rather have lives saved as a point of a statistic I can look at, right?
Mm-hmm.
Than how much millions you give to charity.
Right.
Like, because to be honest, right? Like, you're never going to be able to compete with people like Elon Musk, who's donating hundreds of millions to charity, right? Or $1 billion to charity. But he doesn't have this is how many lives I've saved ticker.
Yeah, that is very interesting, actually.
That's a thought. I'm not telling you how to run your business, right? But
no, I know.
And here's the thing: people hear this, and then you'll know exactly where your holders are wanting the money to go to. But I think personally, for me, if it was my project, I would go full bore into the transplant direction.
Yeah. Well, I agree with you, and that's definitely something that was never out of the question. I do think like that's where it's going to end up heading at some point anyway. When we start working on the rest of the project with the transplant list and everything like that, I feel like that's where we're gonna start. But right now, to get the project off the ground,
Right. Of course.
the primary focus at this very moment on our roadmap is to donate to the charities, but it's definitely a possibility, a very likely possibility in the near future to be doing something like that. So
I mean,
I'm
yeah,
glad
you
that
could always
brought
set
that
up, you're in pre-sale right now, you could always set up a transplant wallet.
Yeah, I mean that there's
You know, I,
there's all kinds of possibilities with that. I think that we would probably divide it
Right.
and
Amongst the tax,
move
right? You have a certain amount to charity, and then you have a certain amount
Yeah.
to your transplant, and then if you want to do redistribution and burn and stuff like that, or lock,
Mhm.
you can set all of that up. It's not too late to.
Yeah, well, Jimmy, why don't you let them know what the tokenomics are for?
Yeah, let's get to that. And I always like to end on the tokenomics personally. Like that's some stuff that's important.
Yes.
Basically, the tokenomics, as of right now at least, unless we change it. So basically, we don't have a burn rate. We're doing it a little bit differently. We're going to burn monthly instead, manually. I just feel like that's what more coins are doing more recently. And when you're burning 1% for each transaction, it kind of gets out of hand. And yeah, so I kind of would like to burn monthly. And we're going to do a manual burn on video because we want to partner with A and B list celebrities, stuff like that, and do it live pretty much just to kind of generate hype around the token.
Mhm.
In terms of donating, so we're donating 4% to holders and 5% to the charity wallet currently. And then we're gonna be doing a manual burn.
There you go.
But I don't have an exact number for the burn yet. We're actually gonna ask our community about that, what they would like. Just because it kind of depends on the just what everybody else wants. We want to be more have our community kind of vote on stuff rather than just we do it and kind of don't have a say in it. So, yeah,
So as of right now, there is no burn.
yeah.
Well, I mean, project's young. It's not even really started yet.
Yeah, you mean you're right. It really hasn't yet.
Which is great, though. It's great because right now, people, you can get in on the pre-sale. So keep your eyes peeled for that because this is your opportunity to get your lottery ticket, right? And hold that. You gotta hold it. You gotta hold it because, I mean, what are you doing selling low, buying high? Is the kidney coin's not ever going to be lower than it is right now. So
And you could save lives. You make money and save lives. I mean,
make money, save lives, some bitches, or tell them to f off. Personally, I tell them to f off.
That's what kidney coin's all about, man.
Yeah, saving lives and ass. That's personally what I like. So, with that being said, people, you got the information. The pre-sale's coming. Do you guys know when your pre-sale's starting?
As of right now, we're aiming for June 6th.
June
launching
6th. So what you guys got to do is you got to hit the link in the description below to get access to this shit. Mark your calendars for June 6th so you can get in on the pre-sale and make all your money now. Okay? Just keep your eyes peeled. Keep your eyes peeled. I promise you, there ain't no better time to get in on a project than pre-sale. No better time. Like, okay, there's one better that's called the white list, right? But like outside of that, the pre-sale is where you want to be. So that being said, you got to like, comment, and subscribe, and share it to all of your friends so you can get in on projects. You got to get them in on these projects so that they can make money too. But so you can know that the money's coming, you got to hit the bell so you can get notified for all the new projects, much like Kidney Coin. How else are you going to hear about stuff in pre-sale without you have to do research? You can be lazy, sit on your ass and off and hear about new projects that will make you money, okay? And the last thing you have to do when you get these little lottery tickets towards success is hodl that shit.